Hello and good morning. My name is Carsten Lund Milbach and welcome to this Friday's Friday Tech Tip. Today I'm gonna walk through how Auto Attendant are configured in Microsoft Teams, what the different settings does. Nothing fancy, just a walkthrough on what the different functionality is and what the user sees and expects. But before we go to that, I want to do a little I don't know what I should call it, but tell you a little about Converse, an awesome conference that are held in London, the 21st and 22nd of June. It's a community-driven conference. I have attended it a couple of times. Last year I actually had a session. I think it's pretty much the best conference you can go to here in Europe. It has everything on Teams voice and meetings and collaboration. Again, everything is community driven, so it's really the rock stars that are behind the scene here. A lot of awesome speakers. Microsoft are backing up at the conference and also joining. All the major brands are coming in meeting rooms, in contact center providers. So it's really an awesome conference that I could only recommend 110%. So if any chance for going to London those dates, you should definitely participate in Comsverse. So back to the Auto Attendant. You log into Teams Admin Center. That's where we're doing everything. You click down on Auto Attendant, and here we can take my and walk through that one. So if we go in here and click on it, we start by giving it a name, which kind of makes sense. It also has a phone number. This phone number is not printed in the beginning. It's because there's a resource account associated with it. But first time you see it, there'll be no number. Then we have operator. Operator is pretty much where to send the call if everything goes wrong. Which means that, for example, if you have configured press 3 for forwarding to a mobile phone and it can't be done, instead of just saying, hey, something's wrong here and disconnect the call will be transferred into the operator. Plus, also in the IVR options, we can forward a call to operator by saying press 9 for operator. In here, we have the option again to say, hey, we don't have an operator. You don't need to configure operator. You can take a person in the organization. When you click a person, you get a list here, and you can search for which person you want to transfer to it. You can take a voice app. A voice app is either another call queue or another auto attendant, or at the bottom an external number. You should be pretty sure that you know what you're doing with your entire setup and don't have it as a fail safe in here if you take an external number, because if there's problem forwarding to external numbers, of course it's not possible to transfer to the external number here. But let's just for fun type in here, and then we have that one. Boom. Then we have time zone. Time zone is where everything else we defined on times in opening hours, closing hours, holidays, and so on are defined by this time zone you set up here. And then we have the language. Language is defined by which default prompts Microsoft are playing, plus text to speech, and also voice input. Like if you have an IVR, instead of pushing 1 for sales, you can put in the name sales and it will direct you to that destination. Sadly, Danish is not enabled for voice input, but if we have taken one of the major international here, we'll have to able to enable voice inputs in IVRs, but sadly it's not for Danish yet. Then we go to the next one, call flow. This is here what is going on when the call is coming in opening hours. We have the option of adding a greeting here. we can either do a text to speech, or you can do an audio file. And the nice thing here is that every time you are uploading an audio file, Microsoft are actually writing the requirements. We were kind of missing that on Sky for Business. So here it says it should be an MP3, WAV, or MVA format, and no bigger than 5 megabyte. So, and again, text to speech, that is where you just type in, this is saying welcome. Then, where do we want to route the call? We could have the option and say we just want to disconnect it. In this case, you're just being presented with the message, and then the call is disconnected. We could redirect the call, same option as the operator, a person, an app, or an external phone number, or now we have the voicemail. So you could also saying, you called the service department, please leave a voicemail after the tone, and redirect to the voicemail. I think in this case I will actually go for no greeting and then forward it directly to a voicemail, so you will have the greetings in the voicemail. But yeah, you can forward to a voicemail in different scenarios. Then we have the more fun one. We say play menu option. And play menu option, we have the same option as up here to play a greeting. We can either upload a file or do a text to speech. One thing that you need to bear in mind here is that if you have the text here and you have the text here, it will play the welcome message or greeting message, and then it will play the IVR message. Normally when I'm configured, I don't have the message up here. I have the message down here the entire one. Welcome to company, for sales press 1, for support press 2, other option press 9 or something like that. And the way we do that is that we are expanding some keys in here. And which one do we want? We want the second one, and that should be going to a voice app, and that can be main queue, and that one could be external number, like that, and 9 could be operator, like that. And you can see it remembers the operator that we had defined on the first tab. Then we are pretty much good to go. Oh, there's this one, a newer functionality that are coming, force listening. That means that you cannot push any of those options here until either the audio file or the text-to-speech message has been completed. So you will force your customer to listen to it. I think it's kind of an okay idea. In some cases it makes sense, in other ones it doesn't. If you are calling a phone number 10 times a day, you know the combination 1442, and you are ending where you want. So, but other times, if you have an announcement in the beginning of the message saying, yeah, we know that it is an emergency and we're working on it, so then you will force the people calling in to hear the entire announcement. And then we have a directory search, where we have the option for users to either dial by name or dial by an extension on it. To be honest, I don't think it's used that much in Teams. I haven't done a customer live where we have it. I've done some labs and testing on it, but I think it's more the old days where we didn't have enough phone numbers, and you type it in. If you know the extension of the pile, please dial it now, and you type the extension because the person you're trying to reach didn't have its own number. But yeah, that's the call flow. Then go to the next one. Oh, and yeah, it will always tell you if you haven't completed correctly. It was saying, hey, this is here, it goes on. Support, then we have some text. Next. We'll continue. So it goes down to only the keys that we're having. Good. Then we have the opening hours here, where we are defining when are we opening. And again, it would be nice with a multi-editor here, but yeah, you go down and say we are opening, let's say 7:30, and the day closes 5 p.m. and then you just map in everything else. The good thing is you can add, let's say that on the Mondays we were also opening from 8 in the evening to 11 in the evening. So you just keep on adding different times, and then in the period where it's not open, it will go to the close message or close call flow. Then we are setting up here what should happen when a call comes in out of working hours. Well, you can either play a message or you can get a greeting message. Again, file a text to speech. You can disconnect the call, you can redirect it, again, person or voicemail or another queue. Or, this is kind of awesome, you can also set up an entire IVR here again for closing hours, saying press X for whatever, like saying IT support is closed at the moment, for very important urgent matters, press 5 now, and then it will forward the call, and the user needs to do something active to get into to the duty queue. But here we'll just disconnect. Next. Here we have holiday settings. Holiday settings I will do another session later on, but pretty much what it does is that we are creating some main sets of holidays, and we can add them into to different IVRs or auto attendants. So it means that you don't have to add days other places than one. You have to configure the call flow as shown here on each date, what should happen, what greeting is. So if you're the lazy guy, you need to have a generic saying, hey, we are closed due to public holidays. Call us back when it's done or over or something like that. But if you want to be more specific, you need to go into each queue and change either the recorded files or the text to speech to saying, hey, Merry Christmas. We are closed during holidays and get back to us the 2nd of January or something like that. And again, you have fully option again to disconnect or redirect or do an IVR in here. But yeah, it's a set that you add into it. Dial scope, that's the one calling by extensions and so on, where we can say all users, or we can go in and define a group of 365 group, or say it's only those people that we can look into, or we can have all users and we can exclude a group for all the chiefs and very important people that you shouldn't be able to hit directly. So, but yeah, that's for the dial by extension or dial by name option. And then in here we add the resource account, and again I'm referring to that number we saw in general information, and that is by adding a resource account. We go in here and you type the resource account, and then you assign more numbers. This is a really nice function that comes to Teams, where you have the option to add multiple numbers. So if you have an office in Denmark, Copenhagen, and you have another one in Munich in Germany and Barcelona in Spain, you can add the 3 numbers in here, and it'll hit the same auto attendant. Yeah, so you don't have to create 3 auto attendant and bind them together and so on. So this is done here. So yeah, that was a quick walkthrough on configuring auto attendant. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, see you next Friday.